Imagine being so broken by betrayal that a single touch could shatter you completely. Damien Cross, Empire's heir CEO, feared across 3 continents, untouchable in every sense, stands alone in his glass tower overlooking a city that bows to his name. But no one knows the truth. He can't bear to be touched by any woman. Not anymore. 3 years ago, the woman he loved stood beside him at the altar, then walked away with his brother. The humiliation didn't break him. The touch of her hand as she whispered goodbye, that's what destroyed him. Since then, every handshake, every accidental brush, every woman's presence sends panic through his veins like ice. He built an empire to forget. He became ruthless to survive. He learned to control everything, except the terror that lives beneath his skin. If you believe some souls are meant to heal the broken, like this video and subscribe, because what happens next will change everything. Tonight, rain hammers against the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse office. His assistant just left. His phone buzzes with merger proposals, board meetings, power plays. But Damien stands motionless, staring at his reflection in the dark glass. Empty. His doctor called it severe haplophobia, fear of touch, rooted in trauma. His therapist suggested exposure therapy. Damien fired him. He doesn't need fixing. He needs control. Then his phone rings. Mr. Cross, his head of security. There's been an incident at the Riverside estate. A trespasser. Damien's jaw tightens. The Riverside property, his private sanctuary, the one place no one should know about. Handle it. Sir, it's not what you think. It's a girl. Young. She's hurt. Something shifts in his chest. He doesn't know why he says it. I'm coming. 20 minutes later, his black sedan pulls through iron gates into darkness. The estate sits on 50 acres of wild land outside the city. No staff, no visitors, no warmth. Just silence. His security team waits by the greenhouse. And there, sitting on the stone steps, wrapped in a blanket too large for her small frame, is a girl. She can't be more than 23. Mud streaks her face. Her clothes, simple, worn, rural, cling to her like she walked through the storm. Her right ankle is swollen, twisted, but it's her eyes that stop him. No fear, no calculation. Just exhaustion and something else. Peace. Who are you? His voice comes out harsher than intended. She looks up slowly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. She winces, shifting her weight. I got lost. The storm. I saw the lights. This is private property. I know, I'm sorry. She tries to stand, gasps in pain, sits back down. I'll leave. I just need a minute. Damien's security chief steps forward. Sir, we can escort her to... No. Everyone freezes. Damien doesn't know why he said it. Doesn't know why he's walking closer. Doesn't know why his heart is pounding. Not from panic, but something else entirely. He stops 3 feet away, close enough to see the rain still caught in her dark hair, close enough to see her hands trembling, not from fear, but cold. What's your name? Lily. Her voice is soft, honest. Lily Brennan. Where are you from, Lily Brennan? Millstone Creek, about 40 miles north. I was trying to get to the city for a job interview. She laughs quietly, bitterly. Guess I won't make it now. Damien studies her. No designer clothes, no polished accent, no agenda written in her posture. Just a girl from nowhere, caught in a storm, sitting on his steps like she belongs to a different world entirely. And for the first time in 3 years, the panic doesn't come. You can't walk on that ankle. I'll manage. You'll collapse before you reach the road. Lily meets his eyes. Then I'll collapse on the road. Not your problem. Something cracks in his chest. Pride, dignity. She has nothing, and still she refuses to ask for help. He turns to his security chief. Bring the car around, and call Dr. Reeves." "Sir?" "She stays tonight. Guest wing. Ankle treated. Then she leaves in the morning." Lily's eyes widen. "I can't." "You can, and you will." He doesn't look at her. Can't. Because if he does, he'll see something he spent 3 years avoiding. Humanity. His team moves instantly. But Damien remains frozen, hands in his pockets, staring at the rain. Why? Lily's voice is barely a whisper. He finally looks at her, really looks. And for a moment, just a breath, the ice inside him shifts. "Because you didn't touch me." He walks away before she can respond, before he can explain, before he can admit that every woman in his life has reached for him, for his power, his name, his wealth. But this girl, shivering and broken on his steps, kept her hands to herself. And somehow that terrified him more than anything. Inside the mansion, Damien watches through security cameras as his staff helps Lily inside. She limps, refuses assistance, keeps her head down, humble, invisible. And he realizes with cold, shattering clarity, she has no idea who he is. The next morning he finds her in the kitchen, not waiting to be served, but cleaning dishes left by the night staff, humming softly to herself. Like she's trying to earn her place in a world that already decided she doesn't belong. Damien stops in the doorway unseen. She moves carefully, favoring her injured ankle, but she doesn't stop. Plates stacked with precision, counter wiped clean, humming a melody he doesn't recognize. Something old, rural, passed down through generations in places he's never been. She doesn't belong here, in this cold mansion with its marble floors and silent hallways, in his world of calculated smiles and hidden agendas. And yet, she fits in a way nothing else ever has. "You should be resting." His voice cuts through the quiet. Lily jumps, nearly drops a glass. She turns, cheeks flushing. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to help. You let me stay. And You don't owe me anything. I owe you everything." Her voice is firm now, honest. "I would have spent the night in the rain, maybe worse." Damien steps into the kitchen, maintaining distance. Always distance. "The doctor said you need to stay off that ankle for 3 days minimum. I can't stay 3 days." "Why not?" "Because I don't belong here." She says it simply, not with shame, just fact. "And because you clearly don't want anyone here." She's right. He doesn't. This estate exists as his escape, from the city, from his empire, from the touch he can't bear and the memories he can't erase. But watching her now, something shifts. "The job interview," he says. "In the city." "What was it for?" Lily hesitates. "Housekeeping at a hotel downtown. It's not much, but it's a start. I need to send money home. My grandmother raised me and she's sick and..." She stops herself. "I'm sorry, you don't need to hear this. What if I told you the position was filled yesterday?" Her face falls just for a moment. Then she straightens, nods. "Then I'll find another one." "What if I offered you something better?" Lily's eyes narrow slightly, not with suspicion, with clarity. "I don't accept charity. It's not charity. I need someone here temporarily to manage the estate while I'm working in the city, 3 days a week, modest salary, accommodation included." It's a lie. He doesn't need anyone. The estate runs itself through an automated system and a cleaning service that comes twice a month, but he can't let her leave. Not yet. Not when she's the first person in 3 years who doesn't make his skin crawl with panic. "Why me?" Lily asks quietly. "Because you don't touch. Because you don't know who I am. Because when you look at me, you don't see Empire CEO Damien Cross. You see a stranger who gave you shelter. Because you were already cleaning my kitchen without being asked." He keeps his voice neutral, professional. "That's more initiative than most people show." Lily studies him, really studies him. And for a moment, Damien feels exposed in a way boardrooms and press conferences never managed. 3 days a week, she says slowly. And I send money home. Every Friday. She nods, once, decisive. Okay. Something loosens in his chest. Relief. Fear. He can't tell the difference anymore. There are rules, he says. You stay in the West Wing. I stay in the East. We maintain boundaries. You don't ask questions about my work. I don't ask questions about your past. And if we run into each other, we won't. But even as he says it, he knows it's a lie. That afternoon, Damien returns to the city. Board meeting. Merger negotiation, the usual performance of power. But his mind stays at the estate where a girl from nowhere now occupies his space. His assistant, Marcus, notices immediately. You seem distracted, sir. I'm fine. The Riverside property, the security report mentioned, it's handled. Marcus knows better than to push, but his eyes linger, curious. Damien's phone buzzes. A text from his head of security. She's asking for cleaning supplies, says the guest wing needs proper care. Should I give her whatever she needs? Damien types back. He leans back in his leather chair, staring at the city skyline. Somewhere out there, his ex-fiancée lives in a penthouse his brother bought with family money. Somewhere out there, people whisper about the untouchable empire CEO who never lets anyone close. And somewhere 40 miles away, a girl with mud-stained shoes is probably scrubbing floors she doesn't need to scrub, humming melodies that don't belong in his world. 3 days later, he returns to the estate. It's late, past midnight. He didn't announce his arrival, prefers it that way, keeps people on edge, maintains control. But when he steps through the front door, he stops. The mansion smells different, not sterile, not empty. Warm bread, fresh flowers, lemon and lavender. He finds the source in the main hall, a vase of wildflowers on the entry table. Simple, unpretentious, alive. No one has put flowers in this house since before. Damien's jaw tightens. He should remove them, restore order. But his hand hesitates over the vase, hovering, unable to destroy something that feels like hope. I'm sorry. He turns. Lily stands at the top of the stairs, wrapped in an oversized sweater, hair loose around her shoulders. She looks younger in the dim light, vulnerable. I shouldn't have touched your things, she says quickly. I just thought the house felt sad. I'll take them down. Leave them. She blinks. What? Leave them. He doesn't know why he says it. Doesn't know why his voice comes out softer than intended. Lily descends slowly, carefully, still favoring her ankle. She stops 3 steps from the bottom, eye level with him now. You're angry, she says. I'm not. You look angry. I always look angry. A small smile touches her lips, the first he's seen. It transforms her face entirely, from cautious to radiant, and something inside him cracks wider. Why are you really here? The question escapes before he can stop it. Lily's smile fades. I told you I need... No, here, in my house. Why did you stay when you could have fought harder to leave? She's quiet for a long moment. Then, because you're the first person who didn't try to fix me. The words hit like a punch. Everyone back home, she continues softly. They look at me like I'm broken. Poor Lily. Lost her parents young. Stuck taking care of her grandmother. Never left Millstone Creek, never will. She meets his eyes. But you just let me be. Damien can't breathe. She doesn't know that he's the one who's broken, that he offered her this place because she's the only person who doesn't shatter him with a single touch. I should let you rest, he manages, but as he turns away, Lily speaks again. The flowers, they're from the field behind the greenhouse. I hope that's okay. He stops, doesn't turn around. It's fine. They bloom at night, she adds. Most people never see them, but if you're patient, if you wait, they open under the moon. And suddenly, Damien understands. She's not talking about flowers anymore. The next 2 weeks blur into something Damien doesn't have a name for. He tells himself it's routine. He comes to the estate twice a week, works from the study, leaves before dawn. Lily maintains her distance, keeps to her wing, follows every rule he set. But the house keeps changing. Books appear on shelves he forgot existed. Windows stay open, letting in air that smells like grass and rain. The kitchen, once sterile and unused, hums with life. Fresh bread, soup simmering, small acts of care he never asked for. And the flowers. Always fresh flowers. He should stop it. Should remind her this isn't permanent, that she's temporary, that he doesn't need anyone making his prison feel like home. But he doesn't. Instead, he watches. Through security cameras at first, telling himself it's protocol, safety, control. But the truth crawls under his skin with every frame. He watches because she fascinates him. The way she moves through the house like she's memorizing it. The way she pauses at windows, staring at horizons he stopped seeing years ago. The way she talks to herself sometimes, soft conversations with a grandmother 40 miles away who can't hear her. She's lonely. Just like him. One evening, Damien works late in the study. Numbers blur on the screen. His head of acquisitions wants to purchase a small tech firm. Good investment, clean execution. He should approve it. But his mind drifts to the west wing, where warm light glows beneath a door. He closes the laptop, finds himself walking. He stops outside her room, hand raised to knock, frozen. What is he doing? He doesn't seek out company, doesn't need conversation, doesn't... The door opens. Lily stands there, eyes wide, holding a book. I thought I heard... Are you okay? I was walking. She steps back, gestures inside. Do you want tea? Every instinct screams, no. Maintain distance, keep boundaries, protect yourself. But his feet move forward. Her room is smaller than the master suites, but she's transformed it. Quilts from home. Photographs of an old woman with kind eyes. Books stacked beside the bed, worn, loved, read 100 times. Your grandmother, Damien says, nodding at the photo. Rose, Lily smiles. She raised me after my parents died, taught me everything. Her voice softens. How to be kind even when the world isn't. She pours tea from a small kettle, hands him a cup, careful, no contact. He notices, wonders if she knows, if she senses somehow that touch breaks him. Why did you really give me this job? Lily asks suddenly. Damien's grip tightens on the cup. I told you. You lied. She says it gently, without accusation. This house doesn't need managing, so why? He could deflect, could retreat into the cold armor that's protected him for 3 years. Instead, he tells the truth. Because you didn't touch me. Lily's brow furrows. What? Every woman I meet, they reach for me. My hand, my arm, my shoulder. They want something. Connection, power, proof they can get close to someone untouchable. He stares into his tea. But you kept your distance, like you understood. Understood what? He meets her eyes. That some people are too broken to be touched. Silence stretches between them. I don't think you're broken, Lily says finally. I think you're scared. The words slice through him. Fear and pain look the same from the outside, she continues. But inside they're different. Pain wants to heal. Fear wants to hide. She pauses. Which one are you? Damien's throat tightens. No one has asked him that. I don't know, he whispers. Lily nods slowly. Then maybe it's time to find out. She doesn't push, doesn't offer solutions, just sits beside him in the quiet, drinking tea, existing without demanding anything. And for the first time in 3 years, Damien doesn't feel alone. Days pass, then weeks. Damien finds excuses to stay longer at the estate. A conference call that could happen anywhere. Reports that don't need his office. Work that somehow requires silence, only this house provides. Lily never questions it. But her presence settles into his bones like warmth after winter. They fall into a rhythm. Mornings he works in the study. She tends the garden she started behind the greenhouse. Afternoons they exist in parallel, separate but aware. Evenings sometimes they share tea. Never long, never too close, but enough. Enough that he starts sleeping through the night. Enough that his assistant notices the tension leaving his shoulders. Enough that the panic begins to thaw. Then Marcus calls. "Sir, your brother is asking about the Riverside estate." Damien's blood runs cold. "What did you tell him?" "Nothing, but he's persistent. Says he wants to reconcile, talk about her." The room spins. 3 years of carefully constructed distance, shattered with a name he can't bear to hear. "Tell him I'm unavailable." He says it's urgent, about the wedding. Damien ends the call, throws the phone across the room. The wedding, the betrayal. The moment his brother stood beside the woman Damien loved and smiled like he'd won. A soft knock at the door. "Damien?" Lily's voice, cautious. "I heard something break." He can't answer, can't move. The panic returns, ice flooding his veins, freezing his lungs, drowning him from the inside. The door opens slowly. Lily steps inside, sees his face, understands immediately. She doesn't ask questions, doesn't rush forward. Instead, she sits on the floor, 3 feet away. Close enough to be present, far enough to let him breathe. "I'm here," she says quietly. "Just breathe." And somehow, he does. Minutes pass. The panic recedes. His hands stop shaking. "Someone hurt you," Lily whispers, not a question. "Someone I loved. And you've been running ever since." He looks at her. This girl from nowhere who sees everything. "Yes?" Lily meets his eyes. "Then maybe it's time to stop running." Thunder rumbles outside, a storm approaching. "I can't," Damien says. "If I stop, if I let myself feel again, it might destroy you," Lily finishes, "or it might save you." She stands slowly, walks to the window. Rain begins to fall. "My grandmother told me something once," she says. "She said the heart is like a garden. If you lock it away, nothing can hurt it. But nothing can grow either." She turns, and eventually, you forget what flowers smell like. Damien rises, moves to the window beside her, still distant, still careful, but closer than before. "What if I've forgotten too much?" he whispers. Lily's reflection smiles in the glass. "Then I'll help you remember." And in that moment, Damien realizes the terrifying truth. He's falling for her. For this girl who doesn't know his empire, his name, his power, who sees only the man beneath the armor, the broken soul trying to heal. Outside, lightning splits the sky. The storm is here. The storm breaks against the mansion like a living thing. Damien doesn't sleep. Can't. His brother's name echoes through his mind like a wound that never healed. Marcus, golden charming Marcus, who always knew exactly what to take. First, their father's approval. Then the company shares Damien built from nothing. Then Victoria, the woman who wore Damien's ring and whispered forever in Marcus's bed. The betrayal wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the touch. Victoria's hand on his cheek as she said goodbye. Soft, gentle, poisonous. Every touch after that became her. Every woman's hand became a threat. Until Lily. Dawn breaks grey and cold. Damien finds her in the greenhouse, kneeling in soil, planting something small and green. Her hands move with practiced care. Dirt under her nails. Peace on her face. She doesn't hear him approach, doesn't sense him watching. Just works in silence, humming that melody again, the one that sounds like home. "What are you planting?" His voice startles her. She looks up, brushing hair from her eyes. Leaves a smudge of dirt on her cheek. Lavender for your study. I thought the scent might help you relax. Something twists in his chest. She's thinking of him, caring for him, planning for a future where she's still here. But she doesn't know the truth, doesn't know who he really is, what he's hiding, the empire that exists beyond these walls. Lily. He steps closer, still distant, still safe. There's something I need to tell you. She rises slowly, wiping her hands on her jeans, waiting. The words lodge in his throat. If he tells her, if she knows he's Empire CEO Damien Cross, not just some wealthy recluse, everything changes. She'll see him differently, want things, expect things, reach for him the way everyone else does. Or worse, she'll leave. Never mind, he says. Lily tilts her head, studies him with those clear, honest eyes. You're scared again. I'm not. You are. She takes a breath. And that's okay, but hiding doesn't make the fear smaller. It just makes the world darker. She moves past him, heading toward the house, pauses at the doorway. My grandmother used to say that secrets are like seeds. Plant them in darkness and they grow into monsters. Plant them in light and they become flowers. Then she's gone. Damien stands alone in the greenhouse, surrounded by growing things, and realizes he's standing at a cliff edge. Jump or retreat, risk or safety, truth or silence. The next 3 days, he chooses silence. He buries himself in work, conference calls from the study, emails that demand immediate attention, a hostile takeover his board wants him to execute, crush a competitor, absorb their assets, prove his empire can't be challenged. He approves it, signs the documents, watches stock prices rise, and feels nothing. Marcus calls again, then again, leaves voicemails filled with empty apologies and fake concern, says Victoria wants closure, says the family needs healing. Says Damien can't hide forever. Damien deletes every message, but the poison seeps in anyway. The old panic returns, ice in his veins, thunder in his chest. He can't eat, can't sleep, can't breathe, without remembering her hand on his face, her voice in his ear, the way she smiled at Marcus like Damien never existed. On the 4th night, he breaks, finds himself at Lily's door again, past midnight, shaking, desperate. She opens before he knocks, like she knew, like she's been waiting. Her eyes widen at whatever she sees in his face. She doesn't speak, just steps aside, lets him in. He collapses into the chair by her window, head in his hands, shoulders rigid with control that's slipping. Lily sits on the floor, 3 feet away, always 3 feet. Tell me, she says softly. And finally, he does. The altar, the white dress, the moment he realized Victoria was gone, the hotel room where he found them, his brother's face, guilt and triumph twisted together. Victoria's hand reaching for him one last time, trying to explain, trying to justify, and the way her touch felt like acid on his skin. The words pour out like blood from a wound, 3 years of silence shattered in minutes. When he finishes, the room is quiet except for rain against glass. Lily doesn't move, doesn't speak, just breathes with him in the darkness. I'm sorry, she finally whispers. Don't. His voice cracks. Don't pity me. I don't. She shifts slightly, still distant, still careful. I'm sorry because I understand now. Why you gave me this job, why you keep your distance, why you watch me like I might disappear. Damien's throat tightens. I'm not. You are. She smiles sadly. And it's okay, because I watch you too. His heart stops. What? I see you, Damien. Not the walls, not the fear. You. She pauses. And I'm scared too, because I know this isn't real. That you'll realize one day I'm just a girl from nowhere who doesn't belong in your world. And you'll send me away. No. The word erupts from somewhere deep, primal, true. No, I wouldn't. You would. Lily's voice is gentle, final. Because people like you don't end up with people like me. That's not how the world works. She's wrong. She's so completely wrong. But he can't tell her that without revealing everything. Without admitting that he's not just wealthy, he's powerful. That his name opens doors and closes others. That the world she thinks divides them is actually his to control. And if she knew, would she stay because she wanted to? Or because she felt obligated, intimidated, trapped? Lightning illuminates her face, soft, beautiful, unreachable. Damien makes a choice. He stands, crosses the room, stops at the door. You're wrong about one thing, he says quietly. What? The world doesn't decide who belongs where. He looks back at her. We do. He leaves before she can respond. Before he can do something reckless like cross those final 3 feet. Before he can touch her and discover if the panic is truly gone or just hiding. In his room, Damien stares at his phone. Marcus's number glows on the screen. 13 missed calls, 4 voicemails. He deletes them all, blocks the number, severs the last thread connecting him to the past. Then he opens his laptop, pulls up the file his lawyer prepared months ago, the one he's been too afraid to sign. Legal severance. Complete removal of Marcus from all family trusts, company shares, inheritance rights. Nuclear option. His finger hovers over the signature line. Outside, thunder rolls. Inside, something shifts. He signs. Morning arrives cold and clear. Damien wakes to silence. The storm has passed. Sunlight streams through windows he forgot could look gentle. For the first time in 3 years, the panic doesn't greet him with the dawn. Instead, there's something else. Lightness. Possibility. He severed the last tie to Marcus, to Victoria, to the past that held him hostage. And downstairs, a girl who sees him, truly sees him, is probably making breakfast she doesn't need to make, humming melodies that sound like healing. He finds her in the garden, not the kitchen. She's kneeling by the lavender she planted, checking growth, whispering encouragement to seedlings that can't hear her. But he hears. He hears the tenderness in her voice, the hope. The way she talks to growing things like they're precious, like they matter, like she believes broken things can bloom again if given enough care. She's talking about him, without saying his name, without knowing he's listening. Damien's chest tightens with something that feels dangerously close to love. They're growing. His voice breaks the moment. Lily turns, shielding her eyes from the sun, smiles. Slowly. But yes. He moves closer, closer than usual. The space between them shrinks from 3 feet to 2. I did something last night, he says, after I left your room. Her expression shifts, cautious, waiting. I cut ties with my brother, permanently, legally. The words feel like freedom. He can't reach me anymore, can't hurt me anymore. Lily rises slowly, dirt on her knees, dirt on her hands, beautiful in the morning light. How does it feel? Terrifying. He laughs quietly, darkly. And right. She nods. Understanding without explanation. My grandmother always said the hardest part of healing isn't the wound, it's letting go of what caused it. Wise woman. The wisest. Lily's smile fades slightly. I need to visit her soon. It's been almost a month. I promised I'd come home once I saved enough. The words hit like cold water. Home. She still calls that place home. Still plans to leave. Still thinks this, whatever this is between them, has an expiration date. Damien's jaw tightens. How much do you need? I'm sorry? For your grandmother, medical bills, care. How much? Lily's eyes narrow. I'm not asking you for... I know. I'm offering. No, her voice firms. I don't take handouts. It's not a handout. You work for me. I clean a house that doesn't need cleaning. She steps back, creating distance, protecting dignity. I won't be your charity case, Damien. The use of his first name still stops him, still makes his heart stutter. What if I told you I need you to stay? The confession escapes before he can stop it. Lily stares at him, searching. Why? Because you're the first person in 3 years who doesn't make me feel like I'm drowning. Because your presence turned this prison into something that feels like home. Because I think I'm falling in love with you, and the thought of you leaving feels like dying. But he can't say any of that. Can't reveal the depth of his need. Can't make her stay out of obligation or pity. Because you make good tea, he says instead. Lily laughs, soft, sad. Right, tea. She walks past him toward the house, pauses at the door. I'll stay another month, then I need to go home. My grandmother, she's getting worse. And I can't keep running from my real life just because this one feels safer. She disappears inside before he can respond. Damien stands in the garden, surrounded by lavender that hasn't bloomed yet, and realizes he's losing her. Not to betrayal or cruelty, to inevitability, to the truth that she belongs to a world he doesn't know how to enter. Unless he tells her everything, unless he removes the last wall between them, unless he risks it all. His phone buzzes, his assistant, urgent meeting. The hostile takeover needs his approval for final execution. Billions of dollars waiting on his signature. An empire demanding its king. He ignores it. Instead, he goes inside, finds Lily in the kitchen washing dirt from her hands. Her shoulders are tense, guarded. The easy warmth from weeks before has cooled. Lily. She doesn't turn around. I should pack. Start preparing to... I'm Empire CEO Damien Cross. The words drop like stones. Lily freezes, water still running, hands suspended in the stream. I own 12 companies across 4 continents, he continues, voice steady, heart racing. My net worth is somewhere around $8 billion. I've been on the cover of Fortune magazine 6 times. The estate you've been cleaning, it's one of 7 properties I own. And the job I gave you? It was a lie. I didn't need anyone. I needed you. Slowly, so slowly, Lily turns off the water, turns around. Her face is unreadable. Why? Her voice is barely a whisper. Because you didn't know who I was. You saw me, not my name, not my power, just me. He takes a breath. And I couldn't let that go. Silence stretches between them, heavy, fragile. So this whole time... Lily's voice shakes. You've been lying. Yes. About everything. About who I am. Not about... He stops. Starts again. Not about the way I feel when you're near me. Not about the panic disappearing when you're in the room. Not about needing you more than I've needed anyone in my entire life. Lily's eyes glisten, not with joy, with something darker. You think knowing you're rich changes anything? She laughs bitterly. You think that makes this easier? I thought... You thought what? That I'd be impressed? Grateful? She steps forward, anger replacing shock. I stayed because I thought you were human, broken and real, and someone who understood what it felt like to be invisible. But you're not invisible. You're one of the most powerful men in the world, and I'm... She stops, turns away. I'm nobody. The words shatter him. You're everything, Damien whispers. But Lily is already walking away up the stairs toward her room, toward the door he just closed between them. The house falls silent. Damien stands in the kitchen, alone, staring at the space where Lily stood moments before. The water still drips from the faucet she forgot to close completely. Each drop sounds like a countdown. He climbed mountains to build his empire, destroyed competitors, outmaneuvered sharks in boardrooms across the world. But standing here, watching the woman who healed him walk away, he realizes none of it matters. Power means nothing if you're alone. Upstairs, a door closes, not slammed, worse, quiet, final. His phone buzzes again. Marcus, another number, another attempt. Damien answers. "Stop calling." Marcus's voice comes through tight, desperate. "She's pregnant, Damien. Victoria, it's mine. We're getting married and I wanted you to..." He ends the call. Blocks the new number. Feels nothing. The betrayal that destroyed him 3 years ago registers now as background noise. Distant, irrelevant. Because the only pain that matters is upstairs, packing, preparing to leave. He moves through the house like a ghost, past the flowers Lily placed in every room, past the books she arranged, past the windows she opened to let light back into his life. Everything she touched is still here, except her. He finds himself in the study. The lavender she planted sits on his desk in a small pot, barely sprouted. A note beside it in her handwriting. "For when you need to remember that broken things can still grow." His hands shake as he reads it. Once, twice, until the words blur. She believed in him before he believed in himself, saw potential in soil everyone else called barren, and he repaid her with lies. Night falls. Lily doesn't come down for dinner, doesn't emerge for tea. The West Wing stays dark except for a single light in her window. Damien sits in the greenhouse where they first talked, where she told him fear and pain look the same, where she asked which one he was. He knows now, he's both. Fear of losing her, pain of pushing her away. The answer to his healing was never cutting out Marcus or severing the past. It was learning to be honest, vulnerable, human, and he failed. Dawn comes grey and hesitant. Damien hasn't slept, hasn't moved. Just sat with the lavender and the silence and the growing certainty that he's about to lose the only real thing he's ever had. Footsteps on the stairs, soft, careful. Lily appears in the doorway, small bag over her shoulder. She's leaving. Now, before he can stop her, before he can fix this. Her eyes are red. She didn't sleep either. "I called a car," she says quietly. "It'll be here in 10 minutes. Damien rises. Every instinct screams to move closer, to reach for her, to break the final distance between them. But he doesn't, because she deserves the choice, deserves to leave freely if that's what she needs. "I'm sorry." The words feel inadequate, hollow. "For lying. For making you think you were nobody when you're..." "Don't." Her voice cracks. "Please don't make this harder." "Then let me make it easier." He takes a breath. "I'll pay for your grandmother's care. Full medical coverage. Whatever she needs. Not as charity. As an apology for every lie I told." Lily's jaw tightens. "I don't want your money. I know, but I'm offering it anyway because your grandmother deserves care and you deserve to stop carrying that weight alone." Tears slip down her cheeks. She wipes them away, angry. "Why does it matter to you?" "Because you matter to me." "I shouldn't." She laughs bitterly. "I'm just some girl who stumbled onto your property. You could have anyone, models, heiresses, women who actually belong in your world. I don't want them." His voice is raw now, stripped bare. "I want the girl who plants flowers in greenhouses, who hums old songs and talks to lavender like it can hear her, who sees broken men and decides they're worth saving." Lily shakes her head. "You don't need saving. You're Empire CEO Damien Cross. You have everything." "I had everything." He moves closer. one step. Then you walked into my life and I realized I had nothing. Just money and power and walls so high I couldn't see the sky anymore. She's crying fully now, not hiding it, not ashamed. You lied to me. I did. You made me believe you were just someone like me. I wanted to be. The confession breaks something in his chest. For the first time in my life, I wanted to be ordinary, because ordinary meant I could have you without you wondering if you wanted me or what I could give you. Lily stares at him, searching. And now? Now I'm telling you the truth, all of it. I'm Damien Cross. I'm terrified of being touched. I'm broken in ways I'm still learning to understand. I'm not easy to love and I'll probably mess this up 100 more times. He pauses. But when you're near me, I can breathe. And when you're not, I'm drowning. The greenhouse fills with morning light, golden soft and forgiving. Outside, a car pulls up the drive. Her escape, her freedom. Lily looks at it, at him, at the lavender growing between them. I don't know how to be in your world, she whispers. Then teach me how to be in yours. She closes her eyes, tears streaming, deciding. The car horn sounds, patient, waiting. When Lily opens her eyes again, something has shifted. Not resolution, not forgiveness, something else, understanding. I need time, she says finally, to think, to understand what this means. How much time? I don't know. She adjusts her bag. But I need to see my grandmother, need to remember who I am outside of these walls, outside of you. Damien nods. It's not a yes, but it's not goodbye. Go, he says. But Lily, she pauses at the door. The lavender, it blooms under moonlight. Most people never wait long enough to see it. His voice drops to a whisper. I'll wait. Lily leaves. Damien watches the car disappear down the drive, carrying away the only light this house has known in years. The dust settles, the silence returns, and he's alone again with the empire he built to forget how to feel. But something is different now. The panic doesn't return. The ice in his veins stays thawed. Because she didn't touch him with her hands, she touched something deeper, something he thought died on an altar 3 years ago. Hope. Days blur into weeks. Damien throws himself into work with mechanical precision. Board meetings. Acquisitions. The hostile takeover finalizes. Another company absorbed. Another victory no one will remember. His assistant notices the change. Less tension, more focus, but also something hollow behind his eyes. So you seem different, sir, Marcus says during a quarterly review. Damien barely looks up from the reports. Do I? Calmer, but emptier. The observation lands like a stone. Because it's true. He found peace, lost purpose. Every night he returns to the estate, to the greenhouse where lavender grows slowly in the moonlight, to the kitchen that still smells faintly of bread, to the west wing where her room stays exactly as she left it. Quilts folded, books stacked, a world paused mid-breath. He doesn't touch anything, just sits in the doorway sometimes, remembering what it felt like to not be alone. His lawyer calls with updates. Marcus accepted the severance terms. No fight, no drama, just a quiet signature and a wire transfer. Victoria sent a wedding invitation, audacity wrapped in expensive cardstock. Damien burns it without reading beyond the names. The past is finally dead. But the future feels uncertain. 3 weeks after Lily left, a letter arrives, handwritten. Postmarked from Millstone Creek. Damien's hands shake as he opens it. Damien, my grandmother is stable. The treatments you arranged, and yes, I know it was you despite the anonymous donor paperwork, are helping. She asks about you. I told her you're a friend. She said friends don't usually pay for experimental cancer treatments. I said you're complicated. She laughed and said that means you're worth keeping. I've been thinking about everything. About who you are, who I am. What it means that a girl from nowhere fell for an empire she didn't know existed. I'm not angry anymore. I understand why you lied. I might have done the same. But I need you to understand something too. I didn't fall for Damien Cross, Empire CEO. I fell for the man who stood in the rain and let a stranger stay, who watched me through cameras because he was too scared to get close but too desperate to stay away, who learned to breathe again because someone finally didn't reach for him. That man is real, and if he still exists under the empire and the power and the walls, I'd like to meet him again, properly this time. No lies, no distance, just truth. The lavender blooms at night, you said. Most people never wait long enough to see it. I'm still waiting. Lily Damien reads it 7 times, memorizes every word, every loop of her handwriting, every pause between sentences where he can almost hear her voice. She's waiting. For him. For truth. For the courage to bridge worlds that should never touch, but somehow fit perfectly together. He picks up his phone, calls his assistant. Clear my schedule for tomorrow. Sir, you have the investor meeting. Cancel it. The merger presentation. Postpone it. Silence. Then cautiously. May I ask why? Because I'm going to Millstone Creek. He hangs up before Marcus can respond, before anyone can talk him out of what needs to happen next. That night, Damien stands in the greenhouse one last time. The lavender has finally bloomed, small purple flowers opening under moonlight, releasing fragrance that smells like peace, like promise, like everything he thought he'd lost. He cuts a single stem, wraps it carefully, places it in his jacket pocket over his heart. Then he drives, 40 miles north, through landscapes that shift from steel and glass to open fields and wooden fences. Past the city that knows his name into a town that probably doesn't. Past power into humility. Past empire into something that feels dangerously close to home. Millstone Creek is exactly as he imagined. Small, quiet, real. Houses with gardens. Churches with steeples. People who wave at strangers because strangers are rare and loneliness is common. He finds her address easily. A modest house at the end of a gravel road. Flower boxes in the windows, wind chimes on the porch. Smoke rising from a chimney even though spring is warm. Damien sits in his car for 10 minutes, hands on the steering wheel, heart pounding, wondering if she'll open the door, if she'll send him away, if crossing this final distance will heal him or break him completely. Then he sees her. Lily steps onto the porch, wiping her hands on an apron, looking toward the road like she knew he was coming. Like she's been watching, waiting. Their eyes meet across 50 yards of distance that feels like forever. She doesn't smile, doesn't wave, just stands there in the fading light, surrounded by the world she came from, and waits to see what he'll do. Damien opens the car door, steps out. Every instinct screams to retreat, to protect himself, to maintain the walls that kept him safe for 3 years, but he doesn't. Instead, he walks, slowly, deliberately, across gravel that crunches under expensive shoes, up steps that creak with age, onto a porch that smells like home. He stops 3 feet away, always 3 feet. Lily's eyes glisten. You came. I couldn't stay away. Your empire means nothing without you in it. She takes a shaky breath, studies his face like she's memorizing it. Then she does something that stops his heart. She extends her hand, palm up, not demanding, offering. No distance this time, she whispers. No walls, no fear. Damien stares at her hand. At the girl who healed him without trying. At the future he's terrified to reach for but can't bear to lose. His hand trembles as he lifts it, hovers above hers, not touching, not yet. What if I pull away, he whispers. Then I'll wait until you're ready to try again. Thunder rumbles in the distance. Another storm coming. But this time, Damien doesn't run. This time, he reaches. Their hands touch, skin against skin, warmth against warmth, and the panic doesn't come. Instead, there's just her. Just this. Just the impossible, beautiful truth that broken things can heal if someone loves them enough to wait. Lily's fingers close around his, gentle, certain. "Welcome home," she whispers. And Damien Cross, Empire CEO, untouchable, afraid, finally understands what that word means. What do you think happens next? Rate this story from 0 to 10 in the comments.